Hello, fellow followers, and welcome to FanZcene. And today I have with me Jessica Dwyer, producer of In Search of Darkness Part 2. And tonight we'll be discussing the upcoming sequel documentary and some awesome 80s horror. Welcome, Jessica. What got you into In Search of Darkness?
So I have been working in the industry for going on about 20 years now, writing for Horror Hound magazine, writing for my own online magazine, Fangirl magazine. And so I've been doing this stuff for a while, and I've been a monster kid and a horror fan for probably my whole life. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. If you can't tell from this is only part of it. It is beautiful. This is inside of my head. This is what it looks like. And there's Tom Atkins because he lives in.
Oh, I love Tom Atkins. Tom Atkins is by far one of my favorite 80s character B movie actors of all times. I love him.
He is a legend. I mean, this is the guy that told. I'm going to call her Laurie Strode. Picked up Laurie Strode hitchhiking and goes, "I'm weird," and then ends up in bed with her, like boom, and it's. Dude.
I got something for that. I got something for that right here. If you bring that up, I have this because with my StreamYard I can do this. So let me find it real quick. Here it is.
Then I offer her a sip of beer, and and there we are in bed, just like that. It's that easy, because I'm smooth.
Yes, he is.
That was one of my favorite parts from the first documentary.
Oh my gosh, he is so amazing. Guy's got a head of hair too, silver fox. But so I mean, part of the reason he was in the documentary, I kind of recruited Tom Atkins because he was at a convention, and I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, I'm doing this documentary for 80s horror films, and I mean, we would be honored to have you in this because you're one of the icons. You know, it's him and Bruce Campbell. They're the few heroes that have as much visibility as the bad guys do in terms of having a following and having, you know, everybody knows Night of the Creeps. Everybody knows Halloween 3. You know, he's the hero." And it's really cool when you have the good guys every so often be as big of a badass as the bad guys are. And so I see that Evil Dead poster. I know of
Evil Dead. Ash Williams, man, that's he's my jam right there. I like Bruce Campbell.
Yes, but so because of the history I had, I saw that they were doing the documentary, and I messaged them. I'm like, "Hey, if you're looking for a female voice to be a part of this, because there's not that many of us. We're getting big. There's more, but there's not as many. I would love to be a part of this." And so Robin, who is the executive producer, and I had a meeting, and he goes, "I want you to become a producer. I mean, let's work on this together. I mean, you've got the knowledge base." And so I became a producer on the project, and the first film on part 1, which you can get with part 2 when you purchase it. And so from then on, I've been using connections and taking part and producing the films, because this is the stuff that I grew up loving. You know, I was a Blockbuster Video, all the mom and pop video stores. It was a special time for 80s. The 80s were a moment in time that I don't know if we're ever going to get again, because the reason we were able to see all of this and take part in it and become these, see these films, was because at that moment, that decade, was a convergence of technology and access, cable television, computers were starting to become big, and you just had this technology allowed independent filmmakers like Stuart Gordon, who made re-animator. You would never get re-animator made today.
No,
at least not in that visage that we got.
Not the way I got it. And re-animator is just one of my all-time greats. Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, you can't go wrong with them too. You really just can't.
Yeah, I mean, David, you had Bruce Abbott in there and David
Yeah,
Gale.
Bruce Abbott. Yep.
You're never going to, that decade had this freedom for so many directors. Like every time I talk about this, I always have to bring up the guys like Stuart Gordon and Larry Cohen, who, they were fearless. They didn't play by rules. Larry Cohen, I don't know how he never got arrested, or he may have. And it's just, these guys are icons, and this is a way to celebrate them. It makes me glad in my heart at the same time as sad, because with the first film, we were blessed enough to get Larry right. He passed away only 2 or 3 months after we interviewed him.
That was crazy. And then Stuart Gordon too.
Right. And it just, you're never going to have creators like that, or they've inspired some, but those are the originals, and this is a way of archiving these creators' works. You're never going to have another Stuart Gordon. You're never going to have another Larry Cohen. They just don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah, they don't.
And this is one way that we are able to celebrate them and have them forever, talking about their craft. And it just makes me really, really happy to see people embracing this and loving it as much as, I do and the rest of the crew do, in making it. And that's what fandom's about.
Yeah, 100%. Because when I missed out on the first documentary when the campaign was going, so I backed your guys's In Search of Tomorrow, and I was so glad I did that, because I got a digital copy of In Search of Darkness, because I've been wanting to watch that forever, and I watched it and I loved it. It was just so fascinating, and it's like I said, it's like after I watched it, it's like you could just continue this. Who cares that it was 4.5 hours? There's like maybe 20 more hours worth of 80s horror film stuff you could cover, and I would watch it over and over and over again, because those are such great films, and I love hearing the stories from all these actors and the special effects and the directors, and how much love they have for these projects.
Well, and that's the thing is, we can make 100 of these and barely scratch the surface of the stories and the crazy that happens. With this one, we sit out the trailer and everybody can see who we've gotten for this. Like Robert Englund's in this one, which is a boy.
Yeah,
Robert. But I'm really excited because Steve Johnson is in this, and Steve, he is my Hunter Thompson of special effects artists. That's what he is. And I'm the stories he tells, you're like, how are you alive? I mean, really, how are you breathing? And because he lived the 80s, and he talks, he has stories for days about making films like American Werewolf in London and the Ghostbusters, and just the craziness that was 1980s filmmaking at the time, because it was crazy. It was the 80s, we've all seen Wall Street, we've all seen what was going on in the 80s.
It was so good too.
But and just he's an artist. Like he loves practical effects, and he is one of the icons of special effects. We have Greg Nicotero in this again. He's another icon. These guys were rock stars when it came to special effects, and I'm just excited for people to see them and have them, because 4.5 hours just isn't enough time. You could sit there and listen to Steve Johnson by himself for 4.5 hours.
Yeah,
Robert Englund too. Take it from me. Take it from me. Robert Englund can talk your ear off. You give him a glass of wine and sit there and just let him go.
That would be a great day. That would be a great day.
Oh man, he's so great. I mean, I've had him. I've taken care of him at conventions, and he just what's great about Robert is he loves fans so much, and he is as interested in things to do with Nightmare on Elm Street and collectibles and fandom as we are as fans, because he thinks it's, you know, it's beautiful stuff. It's part of history. It's stuff. When somebody comes up to a table at a show with a poster from like Thailand that he's never seen, he will take it. He'll stand up, come over, and just look at it. And
Wow.
and he's very specific. It's great. He's very specific on how he signs, what he signs, in terms of, you know, what he puts on there. He takes the time because he knows how precious this stuff is to us. And it's great when you have an actor like that who's really embraced what he does and what we love him for.
I mean, you love to hear that. You love to hear that.
Oh, he's great. He's amazing. Tom Atkins is a sweetheart.
Yes.
I love it when they're as nice, and it's usually the rule of thumb is the most evil villains are the nicest people in real life. The best bad guys are the ones that like,
you always hear
they're
that.
nice. It's
They're
true.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's part of the thing, and also a big part of why I love doing this, and I've been doing it for so long, is the fandom and my fans, my fellow fans out there. That, I mean, I grew up in a little town in the middle of nowhere, and I was reading Fangoria magazine. I had so many strikes against me. I was reading Fangoria magazine. I was a girl. I wore black before that was a thing. And I grew up in Southern Illinois, which was the most, you know, nobody did that. Not even the guys. And then, so I didn't find my people until much later in life, because I knew there was Fangoria. I knew there were people out there, but I didn't have that in my life. And when I went to my first horror convention, it was in I'm old. It was like 1990, 1989. I was 14 or 15 years old. And I went to the Fangoria Weekend of Horrors. And, hey, Giga, I see that comment. Negan. Yeah, right there, baby. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Sorry. I had to call that out.
That's what the chat's there. And to all the people in the chat, welcome. Thank you all for being here.
I don't know where you're at. Over here. Hi, guys. But I walked into this Fangoria Weekend Horrors in New York, and I looked around, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm not alone. And I walked around, and at that one show was Angus Scrim from Phantasm. So the Tall Man was there.
Tall Man.
Doug Bradley was there. Pinhead was there. Kane Hodder, Jason, was there.
Awesome.
Clive Barker was there. Who else was? Oh, Robert Englund was there. So at one show,
Making me jealous.
Oh, dude. So, and then on top of that, Forrest J. Ackerman and Zachary and Tony Timpone. Like, it was my Mount Olympus of things. And what was so fantastic was the Angus Scrim, who terrified everybody. You know, like he was yeah. So he was the sweetest, kindest, most awesome dude that you'll ever meet. Like, he was so kind. And what was funny was when he was done, it was back in the days where you didn't have, like, they didn't sell actual autographs. You just got them included and things like that. So after he had his talk, everybody swarmed him to get autographs, and he's doing it, and he's smiling, and he's just loving this. And I call them seat Nazis. And the seat Nazi came over and said, all right, you got to leave him alone. He's got to go, blah, blah, blah. And he just looks at her, and he gets the scowl on. And he goes, these people are here to see me, and they're going to go away.
Oh.
You know, like the eyebrow got up, and I'm like, I love you. And he did. He chased her off. Like, she's like, oh, what to do? Oh, and Robert Zadar was there for Maniac Cop.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
there too. Another sweetheart guy that we've lost, and just was so nice. But he like, it was great because Angus was like, no, these are my fans. They're here for this, and they're gonna get it. That's what they, these are my fans. Wouldn't have a job basically without these people.
Without these guys.
Yeah, but it was so beautiful to see that he loved that, as loved being a part of that. And that show was just amazing, and it just made me. It was one of those things. And I've talked about this before, and it's why I call my site and my channel Fangirl Magazine, is because I'm a fan. I'm a fangirl, and he just noticed the Negan poster. But that's why I do this and why I got into it. And when that show showed me that there are people out there like you and like Giga and Parker and the gang here that are watching us, that you could just meet at a con, don't even need to know each other's names, and I can look at you and go, hey, remember that time in Evil Dead 2 where blah, 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 and Henrietta came out, and then you see the sweat pouring out of the costume. Oh my God. And you'll just we'll start talking because we have that connection. It's a club, and
it's just like, there's so many various people that are horror fans that you would not expect to be horror fans. And horror fans are like one of the biggest, I would say, most what am I trying to say? Cohesive group of fans. You know what I mean? They can all sort of just get along no matter what.
Yeah. The thing that I love about horror fans, fandom is great. I'm a geek when it comes to sci-fi. I love video games. You can't see it. The door's closed. That entire closet back there in this office is actually filled with DVDs and books. That's it. There's no clothes in there. This is storage for all of my freaking comics and everything that I got. So I cross over into other things, but horror has always been my number one love, other than Doctor Who, which, sorry, but fandom and horror fans are some of the most, I think, underestimated and misunderstood fandom that there is. People think that we're all crazy, that they think we're all it's Satan worshipers or serial killers, that kind of thing. And it's nice to see things like when Tony Timpone back in the 80s, early 90s went on like Morton Downey Jr.'s show, which I don't, you guys may be too young to know who that is, but he was not a nice dude. But Tony, who was the editor of Fangoria magazine for years, went on that show in a suit and tie. And here's Morton Downey Jr. just screaming in his face about, how horrible, horror films are, and you guys are a bunch of sickos, and what the heck. And Tony's just there, like, represent. And I love that, because horror fans can come at any, your horror, Stephen King kind of helped that, because he kind of opened the floodgate. And then you had Clive Barker come along, and the fandom just grew. Like, and so it's, I think that the horror fans are some of the nicest people I've ever met. You can, when you're at a con, typically you can just walk up to one another and just start talking, and you'll get along because you have that shared love and you get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get, I see you. I get it. I see that T-shirt hiding under there. I see that. I like, that's the thing. You immediately have a connection, and typically the story is going to be the same. Is that you're the you've had some rough times because of the stuff you love, but you found your people.
Yeah.
And that's why, movies like Nightbreed, Nightbreed is one of my favorite things in the world, because it showed, I think, something that we could all relate to, which is we're the outsiders. We're the ones that, we're the Midian dwellers. We really are the monsters where the monsters live, and Clive Barker really represented that beautifully and showed that, the differences are what make us beautiful.
Yeah.
And I really love that.
Yeah, and it's a great film too. And what are some of the other like aspects of this documentary? Because I know you guys are going into the like Japanese and Italian horror for the second one. So explain a little bit about that for everybody.
Oh yeah, so that was one thing. The first part one really focused on more of all American horror for the most part, and this one, we really wanted to give representation. We wanted to expand it out, because the 80s were a time where giallo horror and, that had been really predominant in the 70s, but it kind of rolled into the 80s with movies like, we were talking about Demons, which is a fantastic film. And if you look there on our movie poster that he's got in the background, that would, right there. And so we have Greta Goretta, who is the one of the first demons. She's the first one in that movie to get possessed. She's in this film. She's amazing. She looks the same. So she hasn't aged at all. So we wanted to show that that not just what was going on here, but across the world, people were just going into different places and doing different things and fearless with what they were making. So we actually have the director of, his name's Shinya Tsukamoto, and he is going to be in this, and he is the guy who made Tetsuo the Iron Man, which is, if you watch Joe Bob Briggs's Last Drive-In, they just had that on there, and that movie is freaky. It is a freaky movie. Oh man, it is very strange. And to this day, people are still trying to figure out exactly what all was going on in that film. But so we got Japanese horror, we've got Italian horror. If we do another one of these, we'll expand more, because there was a lot of stuff going on in the 80s, and it was really, like I said, it was a decade where it was perfect for allowing this to just blow up, and allow people to access this stuff more so than any other time, any other decade. Now it's kind of old hat. You can make I can take my phone here and make a movie with it. But at that time, this was new. This was like, people had independent directed video movies and the ability to do this off the grid stuff, and like Re-Animator, which we were talking about. You had Charles Band and Stuart Gordon show up, and it's like, heck with it. We're just going to make our own. We're just going to do Video Zone and have our own, Full Moon Entertainment film, and that's it. And and I got to give props to Charles Band. Video Zone was like the first extra of anything, like behind the scenes. You could always expect to have that on your copy of Subspecies or whatever he's releasing, like Puppet Master, and you'd always want to watch that. And by the way, Charles Band and company did Dr. Mordred, Jeffrey Combs. First, it was supposed to be Doctor Strange, but they couldn't get the rights.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
I want, I think Jeffrey Combs is amazing. He's one of my favorites.
oh, I love Jeffrey Combs.
Horror movies. Ah, okay. Well, you may be getting your wish, Parker. You may be getting your wish. I can't talk to anything in the future really yet, but just support In Search of Darkness Part 2 and Search of Tomorrow,
Yes,
we'll see what we can do for you.
And I have put a link in the comments there. If you want to go ahead and pre-order In Search of Darkness Part 2, go ahead and click that link and go pre-order it and get your name in the credits. Some amazing posters, digital downloads of the first and second one, and you can choose Blu-ray or DVD. So do that. Trust me.
Very important that to let you know that if you buy this, you get the first one too. So, and I don't know, even though if you don't have Shudder, this is one of the only ways you're going to be able to get it if you didn't get it the first time around. And so it sounds like Giga, you really want to watch this because we have, like I said, Steve Johnson in this movie, and he is oh my gosh, some of the stuff he made in the 80s and 90s, but especially the 80s, just amazing stuff. I got really lucky and got to go to not Skywalker, but George Lucas's Industrial Light and Magic, ILM. I got to go to ILM, and I got to see, they had on display like the actual Slimer from Ghostbusters. They had like all of this stuff on display as you walked around the place, and I got to see that stuff up close. Yep. And it's amazing.
Speaking of like Ghostbusters, you guys are covering films like Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice and Little Shop of Horrors, which technically may not all seem like horror movies, but
exactly. And that's the thing, is there's subgenres to this. Like Evil Dead 2 is not a straight up horror film, it's a comedy. So, and I mean, you can't not talk about Beetlejuice. It's funny because a lot of people are amazed that this year that there is so much Beetlejuice stuff that just came out. Like Hot Topic is packed full of Beetlejuice stuff. That movie's been out for like 40 years. It's not 40 years at this point. I'm not that old yet, but like it's been around for like 30 years. It's been a while, and
they just released it on 4K too. So
yeah, exactly. And people are still, it's a testament to those movies because you can pop in Beetlejuice now and your kid or your grandkid can watch it and love it because it's just, it stands up. It's almost like Burton knew to make it in a way that looked timeless. Oh, bye, Giga. Beetlejuice.
Thanks for coming, Giga.
Maybe if you say it, they'll show up here. But yeah, that's the thing with that movie and with Ghostbusters too. Stands up. I mean, yeah, it's a little dated in some of the costumes, but the effects work, just the story, the acting, Harold Ramis, I mean,
yeah.
It's just that stuff stands up, and that's why I was really bummed when we didn't get our new Ghostbusters movie that was supposed to be released and now is going to be pushed to whenever we finally get out of this. But it's a testament to that specific film when that movie trailer came out for the new one. And people saw it. I actually teared up a little bit when you saw the molds and fungus, and you actually saw the word Spangler on the top.
Yeah, when the closet.
I saw the closet open. I just was like, and
I was looking forward to it.
It got me, man. I'm a sucker. And then you got Paul Rudd showing up, and I'm like, this guy kicked Michael Myers' ass. Nobody else remembers
Jarvis.
That movie. Yeah,
I remember exactly. That. I like Part 6. I'm not a big fan of the producer's cut, but I like the original, the one we got.
I'm trying to remember. think I went to the theater and saw that. I kind of think I did a million years ago. But yeah, I mean, I was hoping for him to be Egon's son just because he could pull that off. But I'll take no. And the thing that I found funny about that was everybody was like, that you had this bunch of people. There was a bunch of people that kind of got silenced pretty quickly, but they were like, oh, well, they're gonna make it this, even though they didn't support the all girls Ghostbusters. And I'm like, you guys don't see that it's a girl? It's his granddaughter that's the lead. Yeah. Anyway, I don't go there. But yeah, those movies mean something to people, and there's a reason we hold those movies to our hearts, and why you can, there's a meme that goes around. I've seen it about, hey, this is a new flick that, let's try this new one, and screw it, let's watch Sleepaway Camp 3 for the 100th time.
Are you guys covering the Sleepaway Camp movies?
I think we are. Yeah. We kind of have to, because those movies are like, we kind of have to. Yeah. But
I really enjoyed the second and the third one. I really did.
Yeah. What I can't believe is I think it was this last weekend there was a con in Vegas, and Felicia actually dressed up in the end shot costume and did photo ops with people.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my God, seriously, you had to be 18 or over. Like, oh my God. She really did it. I haven't seen any of the pictures. You probably can't post them online.
Yeah, you probably can't post those online.
But the other thing I really love about part 1 and part 2 are the facts that, we bring in the horror movie hosts, and Elvira is part of this. Cassandra Peterson, who is a flawless goddess, and still is in this. Diana Prince, Darcy the Mail Girl, is in this, and Joe Bob, who is my true love. He's in this. And I love Joe Bob Briggs. He's the man. And I got it, what he has done, and what he and Darcy have done, and Shudder did with Last Drive-In, is testament to what we're doing with this. And that is bringing together fans at a time, the first one, we didn't have what's going on right now happening. But I think this is the comfy blanket for people right now that is something they could use. And part of what we're doing with this project too is our Discord community, which I wanted to bring that up, because that's something I don't think a lot of people may be aware of.
I was going to get to it, so go ahead, talk about the Discord for everybody.
And the Discord community is basically you have access to. We're on there. The crew behind the film is on there. We're talking to you guys, and we also have weekly watch parties of horror films. Basically, it's what we used to do in the old days. Is you coordinate your VCRs and you turn them on and play it together and watch over the phone if you're not at the same house. But this, you watch the movies with us. Everybody's commenting during it, but what's even cooler is that we bring on the actors and the filmmakers of these movies, or other people that are like YouTube heroes, or writers or producers, and they have their own insight into these films, and they share them with you, and you can ask them questions as it's happening. So like, we'll start about half an hour prior to the film and bring on the guests for a Q&A. We had Jeffrey Combs on my birthday weekend, which was amazing. Nice. And so I got to do a Q&A with Jeffrey Combs, and talk to him about Re-animator, talk to him about From Beyond. and you guys can see him and send questions in, and we'll ask them for you. And then we start the movie, and we'll have a running commentary while the movie's going on, where we'll talk about our thoughts on the film, or if we have a guest that can stay through the film, they'll be commenting on it. We've had actors and actresses and directors and filmmakers be a part of this. And then what's even cooler is that you have an archive of all of these commentaries that you can then re-listen to. And when you throw questions at us in the chat in Discord, we'll say your name, we'll ask the question, and then you have that forever. It was really it's really cool, because some of these movies are not as well known. We go deep.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff on there. It's like, I don't know that movie.
Cellar Dweller. We just did Cellar Dweller. When I found out we were doing Cellar Dweller, I'm like, really? Like, we're doing Cellar Dweller? Are you? But yeah, so we do that. And so with getting the set, purchasing part 2, you get a full 12 months access to our Discord community. And that's every week. Like there will be something going on, and there's all these watch parties that you will have access to. You can come in, and then you meet people that are fellow fans. You can share your collectibles, pictures of your stuff, talk about your favorite films, even do your own in the Discord community watch party. You can just decide, hey guys, I'm going to be on at this time. If you guys want to show up and chat while we're watching the movie, let's do it. Yeah. And you can do it.
You get that when you purchase you join the Discord when you purchase the documentary.
Exactly. And it's pretty amazing, because right now the big thing for me is I am missing cons. I miss my conventions. I went to at least 3 cons a year. I have not gone to a convention since September of last year. Yeah. And it's killing me. And I miss my friends. I miss my people. I miss being able to geek out with other fans. And that's what this is, basically. This is a con in your pocket, because you can put Discord on your phone, and you can walk around and be like, what, let's see what's going on, and start conversations, put it on your computer, and just be a part of it. It's as close as we can get safely right now to having a convention.
That's
and
true.
We have Q&As. Yeah, we have Q&As. Yeah,
Q&As, and people from your favorite movies coming on that you can ask questions to. So that's a good deal as far as I'm concerned.
Heck yeah, it is. It is. But yeah, that's part of the reason I really love what we're doing with this is help bringing fans together. I love my fan family. I call it family, and my family. And you find your people, and it. So
yeah. Yeah, and like Robin Block, the CEO, said, for the fans, by the fans.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We know what you guys like, because it's the stuff that we like too, and that's where this comes from. Mm-hmm. So, but like I was saying, it couldn't have been a better time for Joe Bob to come back and bring, and he's in this again in part 2. He is in part 2. It's really shown, like, it's great when Hogzilla was trending on Twitter. It's like, yes, my people rise and make Hogzilla trend and make him explode from embarrassment. It's so
watching him since Monster Vision on TNT, man.
Oh man. I tell the story of the fact that in high school for my senior prom, I left my prom early at 9:00 because Joe Bob was having a Mummy movie marathon, And I went home and watched the Mommy Movie Marathon on Monster Vision on my prom night, because I spent my prom night with Joe Bob Briggs. There you go. But yeah, that's what I did, because I would rather have been watching old Universal horror films or old Hammer flicks and having Joe Bob Briggs talk about, in-depth detail of first assistant AD on this movie.
That's
So,
good stuff. Good stuff.
It's truth.
Is there anything that you can tell us that maybe we don't know that you're allowed to tell us about this? A little special.
I have to be careful, because I think there's still some. I don't know if there's I think there's still cast announcements coming. I can just really tell you that if you liked the first movie, and you liked how we did it, and you liked hearing all these stories, and how it was done, and how much love we put into this thing, then you're gonna absolutely love part 2. And it's just an expansion of it, in terms of, the internet, bringing in the international stuff. There's going to be video games. We're talking about video games in this one. That's one thing. And
I've seen that. The Nightmare on Elm Street and the Friday the 13th.
I'm hoping. I don't know if we fit it in. I hope, because you only have so much time. I hope we talk about the Fright Night game and that Texas Chainsaw Massacre atrocity that was the Atari Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. Because I know James Rolfe is back, and I know a lot of people love Cinemassacre and Angry Video Game Nerd, and
I would love to get my channel on the levels of those guys.
Dude, he
does stuff that I would so love to do.
He's been doing it for a long time, though.
Yeah,
he was one of the first YouTube guys, and now he's got freaking Macaulay Culkin showing up and being episodes of his show. I love seeing how
sort of reached that level.
Man, he's amazing, and I love the fact that he's so knowledgeable, and he basically turned that. I think that's in his house. He created his own video store.
When I saw that on his channel, I was like, this guy is living my life, because I have boxes of VHSs and all kind. I'm a huge physical media collector, and I just absolutely love like Blockbuster and old video stores, like you was mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
And when I saw his room and then how it became what it became, I was like, I want that. I want to make my house look like that.
I have friends that have done that, and I think what they do is, like, when those video stores were dying, and they just bought the shelving units and took them home and just recreated it all in their house. And like, I can't. Dude, this is all I got is this office. I don't get to do this anywhere else in my house. But man, I dream of having a theater set up. Like, I would love to have a home theater. But the video store stuff is just amazing to me, because that's some dedication, man. When you build that and put that together, that's there. That's there forever. But
I mean, that's, like I said, that's a dream right there.
It's so good. But he's so great, and I love what he did and created with that channel, and he just keeps doing it. Like, he's fantastic. We've got Cecil Trachtenberg from Good Bad Flicks is part of this now, and we've got Brendan Tinold, who does some fantastic reviews and stuff like that. His channel is blowing up now, and I just really love finding these guys that can, and guys like you that keep this stuff alive, keep the conversation alive. It's like watching a friend or finding, watching your buddy talk about the stuff that you love.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, it's all good. Go ahead.
Like I was telling Andrew that when I watched the trailer for In Search of Tomorrow, which I did a reaction here, because my channel, I'm a huge fan of the 80s, all that. I had been doing like various 80 movies here and there, some new news and stuff. And then when I watched that, I was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna. That just like clicked for me because I was like, that's what I like. That's what I love. 80s movies, sci-fi, horror, comedy. I think I'm just gonna like steer my channel towards that way, and and it's really helped.
Oh, we influenced your channel that
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
That's fantastic.
and then you guys got in contact with me and allowed me to become an affiliate for this,
Yep.
and I was just like, it blew my mind because as far as I'm concerned, I'm like this little itty bitty nobody on YouTube.
Don't sell yourself short ever on that. I mean, it's right now. Thank you, Martin. I try really hard. It's my fangirl cave. I try. It's gone through many. You can't see it. There's a TARDIS over here. It's a wooden TARDIS. My husband bought it for me for Valentine's Day, and it actually has almost gotten full of Funko Pops. I have a problem, but yeah, I gotta show it. There's little Tron and little Sark. Yeah. Fun fact about Tron, just throwing this out there. For those of you that have seen the Tron Legacy, Cillian Murphy is in that, and he's playing Dillinger's son for 2 seconds. He's in it for 2 seconds. He asked to be in that. He wasn't hired to be in it. He asked to be in it.
Play that role?
He did it for free.
That's awesome.
Because he wanted to be in a Tron movie.
I love it, and they're great movies. Both those films are amazing films.
Oh man, I was so stoked when I saw they were. I think they're making a third one, which makes me exceedingly happy. And the thing with me is, I want actual Tron in my Tron movie. Yeah. It's not Flynn the movie. It's Tron. I'm a Boxleitner fan. I love Bruce Boxleitner. So, like, put some Tron in my Tron movie. But
True.
yeah,
I mean, I think you got to have Tron and Flynn. My view,
but I'm a Tron. I'll tell you, I actually went one time. I went to a thrift store, and I say this as jokingly, but it's probably the truth. I think a geek died, and all the stuff got sent to the thrift store. They just got rid of it, and they had no idea. The people didn't know all what they had. And I found this shoebox, and they'd slapped a sign on the shoebox that said $5 a figure. There were original Tron figures in that box. Wow. Original Tron figures, original Clash of the Titans figures. There's this, I can't remember the name of the toy company, but they did these weird sci-fi action figures for kids back in the early 80s. And Martin, Martin's asking a question.
Yeah. I was about to pop it up for you so you could.
What did I think Tron survived? I think you can always bring Tron back. I wasn't a fan of the whole Rensler thing, but I will tell you, my heart leapt when I heard that line of "I fight for the users," and I'm like, "Yeah!" I'm like standing in my like, "Yeah, but Tron, I think they can bring him back, and I think Boxleitner would be happy to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying really hard to get the insertion. I really love Boxleitner. But this box had all these toys in it, and I'm just like, holy God, I can't buy the whole box. They said you could buy the whole box for like $100, and I didn't have $100 to just throw down on a shoebox full of awesome. But I grabbed those. You better believe those Tron figures came home with me. And so did Calibos from Clash of the Titans. Nice. Yeah, I have a thing about those. I love those old 80s action figures. Like I have
who doesn't? Like the movies.
I got back when I was growing up, I had a whole thing of Dukes of Hazzard. Like I was a big Dukes of Hazzard fan. I even had Daisy in the Jeep. She came with, there was an action figure of Daisy Duke, came with her Jeep. I had Greatest American Hero action figures. That's how old I am, kids. I'm old. And I had I had Greatest American Era action figures. If I had those now, they'd probably be worth like a couple $100.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love
Who
what.
could it be?
Oh God, don't get on my head. But I mean, talking about you guys and you specifically, you all bring this stuff. You keep it alive, and what you're doing is right now people need to feel connected, and that's what you're doing. That's what I try to do on my stuff. I have a channel where I do like gone but not forgotten videos of old like Kindred the Embraced and Prophet and I talk about Doctor Who, and it's something right now we kind of need something to take our minds off of
Right.
the bad.
That's what I try to do. I try to give people like
happy nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia 80s movies. That's what I mean. Nothing against too much modern stuff, but I don't really dig a lot of modern movies and TV shows. I'm kind of just perpetually stuck in the 80s. So I try to just
It's a good place to be.
Yeah, I just try to give out those movies and stuff and maybe hit something on the head that maybe somebody hasn't seen that will get them to watch that film and be like, hey, thank you for this. Like I did a review on my channel of My Demon Lover.
Oh my God. I thought I was the only one that remembered that.
Exactly. I love that movie. Some of the comments I've gotten on that have just like touched my heart for real. Cause it's like one guy was like, I thought I was the only one that knew this existed. Thank you so much. You took me down a nostalgic road trip. I thank you so much for this video. And I'm just like, no, thank you. That I love that.
That's awesome. No, I was actually thinking about My Demon Lover when we were doing the second one. Can I get Scott Valentine? Is he still alive? I want to get Scott Valentine. But I, that those oddball flicks that people that if you remind them like they've seen it, but then they go, oh yeah,
right.
And then they start thinking about it, and it takes them back. And my thing is, it gives people an out. It's like wrapping up in a blanket. My husband makes fun of me sometimes because I'll pop on Brides of Dracula, which is something I have watched. I don't even want to admit to how many times I watched that movie, but I'll put that on instead of watching something else because it's something I know. It's something I know I love. It's Peter Cushing. For the love of God, it's Peter freaking Cushing, and you better not judge me or I'll hurt you. But it's a movie that I know is beautiful. It just is like wrapping up in a blanket, a little security blanket, are my favorite films, and it's okay to do that. I think that's something that people, that's one thing I don't like is people will make fun of fans for the stuff that they love. And they make fun of fans for being, finding comfort. And they make fun of us. And I've had this happen when we lose someone that was special to us and gave us the gift of this art. And I don't like that. We should be allowed to feel sadness because we lost this person. When George Romero died, it was a blow to so many people I knew. And but I would see evil comments about, you didn't even know this guy. Why are you crying? And it's like, you kiss my, I'll cry. I'm going to cry over Papa George because Papa George is the reason. It brought something
into your life that you really loved, even though you may not have known them. And so you can feel for that person.
Exactly. And, I look at it like this. Who I am is from this back here. I am who I am. I'm doing the stuff I'm doing. I'm being able to be a part of this. I'm being interviewed by you because of this. And I wouldn't be who I am if it hadn't been for George Romero, for Clive Barker, for Sam Raimi, for, seeing these guys, and I'll put in sci-fi in there. Like, if it hadn't been for Tom Baker, I'd never had seen Doctor Who. I would never have gotten into the Whovian that I am. I would never have taken to heart the teachings of Doctor Who, which is be kind, help, be a decent person.
Right.
If you have the ability, help someone. Or, with the horror films, like, I'll use Frankenstein for an example. If it hadn't been, Frankenstein is a tale that a kid like me could relate to, especially, like I said, with growing up where I did, and I kind of was an outsider by a lot. But so was Frankenstein. He just wanted to be understood. He wanted to be, loved. He wanted to find someone like him. And any kid can relate to that.
Right. I mean, you always want to find your place out there. Somebody that you can talk to.
Yeah. And so these movies, I tell you, we were talking about Tron. But I tell you, these films are why I am the way I am and who I am. And if someone, I feel the need to tell people it's okay to cry if you lose somebody like that. When Stuart Gordon died, when Toby Hooper died, these guys were never celebrated by the film industry like they should have been. And this is our way of doing that. We finally get to celebrate them, because the Oscars never will.
Yeah, that's for sure. Don't even get me started on the Oscars.
Joe Bob, when he did that People We Lost segment, a couple, like, I think this last season, I wanted to just hug him for that, because that was beautiful and needed.
Yes. Martin, I like the Ash vs. the Evil Dead series. I really enjoyed it. I have still not yet seen the third season, which I'm a little behind on that. Which I
my God!
I know, because I'm a huge Evil Dead fan.
I get to take that poster then. That poster's coming home with me now. You don't get to keep that.
I bought the steelbook of the third season, and I have not yet watched it. I just, honestly, it's because I've been super busy lately, and I've been kicking myself for it, because I'm an Evil Dead fan, and I'm an Evil Dead fan, and I haven't seen the third season, so I don't want to lose my Evil Dead fan card.
You did. I get that poster. That poster is mine now.
I loved what I know of the first two seasons. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was a great continuation. Very respectful to the original films. I got to get to the third season.
I loved it, Martin. I thought it was fantastic. I wish we had a fourth season. I thought it, but the way it ended, I can't talk about that because he hasn't seen it yet. But I think it ended in a perfect way if that was going to be the last thing. And I love the ridiculously overt things they put Bruce Campbell through. That just, my God.
Bruce Campbell, man, he's so great.
I think all he's doing right now is just getting high on his lavender farm in Oregon and doing Instagram filter videos. That's all he's doing.
I know, that's all I see in person anymore.
It's so stupid and goofy, and I'm like, yeah, he's probably smoking weed and doing this. I don't know that for sure, but
I have a friend who knows Bruce Campbell. Garrett, he's going to kill me if I say his name wrong. Oh my God. Gary, I can never remember. He reminds me of, like, his name is like from Parks and Recs. His name's Gary Kissel. His name's Gary Kissel. Yeah, he was a little bit Ron Swanson like. His name's Gary Kissel. He's an artist. He's a comic book artist. And he's friends with one of Bruce Campbell's best friends. He's like best friends with one of Bruce Campbell's best friends, and he's been with him. And he tells me some stories with him and Bruce Campbell that they've done, and I just I love it. Like he told me a story about how I cannot remember the actor's name, but he was an old actor on the set of the Western Sam Raimi did.
Quick and the Dead.
Dead, yes. It was one of the older actors who was famous at one time, and he was upset that his character was coming off like a wimp. Like, if it's like my daughter is being treated this way, why am I fighting? So Sam Raimi brought in Bruce Campbell and had the actor beat up Bruce Campbell on set, but they never filmed it. They told him they were filming it. So it's like an old trick that they do for actors. And yeah, so he came in and he whomped Bruce Campbell's butt, and he got his confidence. He's like, okay, and they never filmed it. Didn't even put it in the movie. They just did it to shut him up so he would go on and do his role. And he said he was in the car with Bruce Campbell and his friend, and he's like, the guy asked him about that, and Bruce Campbell was like, that scene was never filmed. And he told him, he's like, this is what happened. So I was like, I'm so good. I get to hear those stories from him, and it's so cool to know that.
Oh my God. I do have to say, though, Lee Majors being cast as Bruce Campbell's dad is probably one of the most amazing casting choices they could have ever done.
Genius.
Oh my God. I got to interview all of them together at Comic-Con when they were there, and Lee Majors was there, and I just was like, holy Christ. Aw, thank you, Martin. But
yeah, Martin, have a good night, buddy.
It was fantastic to talk to them. And Lucy Lawless is a goddess too. Oh my God. That's another one. She doesn't
talk about childhood crushes.
Dude, I love the fact that I think it was, oh God, what's his name? The producer guy, not Sam, but Rob Tapper married her.
Yep. Talk about a jackpot.
Oh, dude, well, how did you do that? That was so funny because they interviewed. I think they were sitting together when we got their interviews, and it was so funny. I'm looking at them like,
how did you manage that?
How did you do that? But they were all awesome, amazing people. I love oh God, Dana De Lorenzo, I think is her name.
Yeah.
She's amazing, sweetheart too. They're just all great. That show is so good. You're gonna have a treat.
Yeah. I've really been meaning. Honestly, I have been so swamped lately, and I have not got a chance to see the third season. But I plan on. I mean, I even bought the Steelbook. The Blu-ray Steelbook, and I'm like, I gotta get to this. I gotta get to this.
I got the whole set. I got the entire series set. That's what I bought, and and it was great because it comes digital too on there. So you can carry it with you.
I bought all three separately when they first came out. So.
Oh, gotcha. I want to get the puppet. Have you seen
the Ash puppet. Yeah,
the Ashy Slashy puppet.
Ashy Slashy.
Oh my God. But yeah, I hope you guys absolutely love this. Pick up the part 2. Get it now. Get your name in the credits, which is so cool. I love that aspect of it because it's like being a part of the history of horror. Like your name is on there now. No one can take that from you. And I love our pen. If you guys
get the little. It's like the poster.
Yeah, and it was. I love the fact that they went ahead and did my idea for the pen back, which is a video cassette box.
Oh yes,
so it's actually on the video cassette box, and it's a great, beautiful. It's a beautiful pen. I have like a vat of enamel pens.
I got my copy pre-ordered, and I'm looking forward to getting all that.
Awesome! Yeah, you're gonna love it. And the posters are beautiful.
Yes,
there's
got to find space.
Behold.
You can't see over here, but I got posters over here. All my Blu-rays and DVDs and VHSs are over here. This is what I call my nerd room. So
you know what you can do. I actually did this a while back. This is like the 3rd or 4th incarnation of my fan cave. I do like a video tour of it just to show it, and then I can have that saved because I have to rotate so much crap in here because I'm like, oh, I gotta take that poster down, put this one up. All right, but But yeah, you ought to do a tour of your office and show everyone your collection. I love seeing that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I got to do a little dusting. I haven't dusted in a while, but yeah, it's all the good stuff back here.
I'm not even going to go into details of how dusty this place is.
I know.
You can't see it over here, but I have my altar of, there's a Beetlejuice doll, a Leatherface doll, a Freddy doll, and then behind them, still in the box, is my Ash Living Dead doll that they did for that too. And I
got my Ash Evil Dead 2 Neko toy laying there on my desk. I haven't opened it. It's in the box.
I still need to get I was debating on getting the Evil Dead 2 version because I love how Campbell looks in that movie, or the Ash versus Evil Dead series version of him where he's older and they actually changed him up to make him older and everything in the toy art. I love it. But
it's great.
Well, guys, I thank you so much again for this. This was so much fun, and
thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah, and if you ever want me to come back and talk over you again,
maybe we should get you and Andrew both on one day before the campaign's over.
That would be maybe. Hopefully. I mean, I'm down. I know it's going. It's through October 31st at midnight on Halloween. So we're ending it on a perfect night for it. For sure.
Full moon and all.
Yep. I'm actually off on the 1st because I plan on staying up all night watching movies. That's my goal for Halloween. That's always my goal for Halloween. It's sad this year. We typically have, we get around 2,500 kids. We get like around 2,000 plus kids to our house because for the last 16 years that we've lived here, we have done, we do a thing called the Haunted Garage. And we take our garage and take all the stuff out of it, and we have animatronics and things that we put in there. It's eventually now spilled out into our cul-de-sac. And we have like tents and things that we put up, and people can come in, and I always dress up like a different character. One year I had my Billy from Saw outfit with the mask, and I had an adult tricycle. And I was going around, and I scared the crap out of some teenagers. Like there was a number of them that, because I was doing the voice too, and by the end of the night I couldn't even talk, and it was disgusting because the mask I was wearing, the sweat had just poured out and just soaked the bow tie. And because I was riding the tricycle too, so I was in a suit in a mask riding a tricycle back and forth along the sidewalk to get people to come into our spot. But this year we can't do it. And we would literally go through 2 of those big plastic totes of candy a night. I'd have to go out sometimes and buy more candy. And this year we don't get to do that. It's really
that's sad. That's sad. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll have people show up, and I don't know if we're going to be answering the door. Probably not, because I don't know where you've been. But yeah, it's kind of it's sad. But stay home, watch horror movies, and eat candy. That's the plan.
Well, yeah, you got to eat candy. Like, not to brag here or anything, but I quit eating sweets a while back, and I've lost like 90 pounds while I stopped eating sweets and pop and everything.
That'll do it.
And when like Halloween comes around, though, it's hard not to want to eat a Kit Kat or a Twix or a Snickers or something. So I kind of, you don't deprive yourself. You give yourself a little treat. So I usually give myself a little treat around Halloween.
Oh yeah, no, I know a lot of people that have probably gained like 20, 25 pounds.
It's hard.
Well,
trying to keep it.
It's just one of those things of just, I'm depressed and I'm sad and I'm stuck here. I'm going to eat all the ice cream. Who's going to stop me? Yeah.
It's true.
Awesome.
But yeah, thank you, Jessica, for coming on and talking this great documentary and awesome 80s horror and everything else. And thank you to the chat, Flipped Out, Martin, Parker, Giga Vega, Stony One Kenobi. I'm trying
That's the
to
best
see
name.
everybody's name here. Stony One Kenobi's a cool guy. Mora Kitty, and I said Parker Burst and Kashyyyk Queen. Thank you guys all for stopping in, and everybody that's watching that didn't chat. Thank you all too. I appreciate you guys for watching. And I have the link if you do want to pre-order In Search of Darkness. I have the link in the comments. I have the link in the description. So please do that. And also, it does help support my channel. So you want to help this pretty face out?
Help that pretty face. He's a good boy. Let him sleep in your bed.
Scared.
Oh, look at that.
This is my shirt I made. It says to keep watching 80s horror too. So I sell these shirts. So if you want to buy one, go ahead.
This is by my friend Joel Robinson, and you can get this at Hot Topic is where I got it. But he designed this, and what's cool about this shirt is you can see his eyeball in it, which is really subtle, but it's there. It's the one that isn't poked out.
Jason or Michael?
Michael. I like it. I like Michael. I don't know why. There's something about Michael. But
always say like.
But I'll tell you the true one is. Yeah.
I get Freddy's everybody's favorite. But I would say like the Jason movies I find are the funner movies. They're the more like funner movies to watch.
Did you get that giant cube of doom that everyone's talking about?
I want to get it so bad, but my wallet.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if I can get it, but I really truly want it because it's like one and only time thing you'll ever get something like this. Because I missed out on the Halloween set.
Oh, the Halloween set went like that. No,
I know I missed out because I have now bought each individual Halloween movie on Blu-ray or 4K separately now, but I missed out on that, and I don't really want to miss out on the Jason one. But I'm poor, so
it's crazy that I like my friends list. That's like the thing now. Like they're posting all of they're opening the box and taking pictures, and I'm like, dude, don't you own like 4 copies of all this movie?
Hey, I'm that type of person. Like I own the Star Wars on VHS, Blu-ray, DVD. I have multiple copies of everything.
I respect the collecting, and I just find it funny. It's like,
yeah,
man, I know how much that thing was.
I know.
God, dude.
That's what it's like. I was like, I really, really want it, but I may have to hold out on that one.
Yeah, I think I would like to have it, but I'm like, I can't. I'm trying to buy a house. I'm not gonna do it.
I got a family to support, so
yeah, I gotta eat this month. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. Being a fan, that's the hard part of it. Yeah. Right now I'm looking at all this stuff. Like there's so much cool Universal Monsters stuff.
Oh, I love the Universal Monsters
They
too.
keep rolling it out, and I'm just like, stop making stuff.
I know, and like they came out with the still books a while back, and I was like, I already got them on Blu-ray, but do I really want the still books?
Yeah. No, I will tell you though, the that Universal Monsters Collection Blu-ray set that came out is worth every penny.
Oh yeah, so that's another one I want to get to because it has all of them.
Yeah, that thing is worth every penny. It has every extra. And it has, depending on where you get it from, it has either postcards of the movie posters or a booklet.
And the good thing about that, it's cheaper than the Jason one. So
most things are. I love you, Scream Factory, but that's
yes, I know.
It's expensive. It's expensive.
Yes,
but well, thank you so much. And if you ever want me to come back, I am down for it. And you guys are amazing, and keep up the good work. You are doing the Lord's work, helping keep these movies alive and everybody happy, giving people something to look forward to or think about. I try
because it's good times, good flicks, good conversation.
Exactly. Yep. Well, thank you guys so much, and please support his channel and hit that link.
You heard her. You heard her.
Do it. Would I lie? Why I tell
I
you a
take
bad
it.
idea?
See you guys later.